They laughed when Amaka entered the compound, holding silence tighter than her torn handbag. Neighbors whispered cruel jokes as her eyes burned with secrets nobody imagined. One insult too many echoed that morning, and something dangerous finally awakened inside her. Before sunset, the laughter would die, and Amaka would never be ordinary again. If stories like this speak to your heart, subscribe and sit closer. There is much more to hear. Amaka lived in Ajagunle, Lagos, a crowded neighborhood of zinc roofs, shouting generators, and restless dreams, where everybody knew each other's business and judged freely, without mercy or patience. She was 24, slim, dark-skinned, with tired eyes, always lowered, wearing simple dresses and rubber slippers, her quiet nature mistaken for weakness by neighbors who thrived on gossip. Her mother, Mama Grace, sold roasted corn by the roadside, a woman bent by hardship, yet strong in faith, while her father died years earlier, leaving debts and unanswered prayers. Every morning, Amaka swept the compound, fetched water, and rushed to her tailoring job downtown, enduring long bus rides, insults, and laughter from people who saw her poverty as entertainment. Auntie Bola, the landlady, loud, proud, and sharp-tongued, ruled the compound with cruelty, often mocking Amaka unpaid rent, frayed clothes, and silence, calling her useless behind fake laughter. Other tenants like Cunnel the barber and Sod the hairdresser joined the mockery, sometimes softly, sometimes loudly, pretending it was harmless fun while enjoying the power of togetherness. Despite smiles, Amaka carried a weight inside her chest, a guarded calm that hid sleepless nights, secret notebooks, and careful plans nobody noticed because laughter drowned observation. In the evenings, when generators hummed and children played football, Amaka stared at the sky, as if waiting for permission to breathe freely, hinting that normal life masked approaching change. Trouble arrived the morning Auntie Bola banged Amaka's door, demanding 6 months' rent before sunset, threatening eviction, while neighbors gathered, smiling, hungry for drama. Amaka's voice shook as she pleaded for time, explaining her salary delay, but laughter erupted, with Cunnel joking that excuses were her only inheritance. Mama Grace rushed in, begging with tears, offering corn money, but Auntie Bola pushed it away, declaring shame louder than thunder, drawing more spectators. Sod filmed secretly with her phone, whispering that Amaka's disgrace would trend online, while others laughed, enjoying borrowed power over fragile dignity. Something cracked inside Amaka's chest. Yet she stayed quiet, nodding slowly while her fingers trembled, gripping her faded handbag tightly. That afternoon, she lost focus at work, sewing wrong lines and earning scolding from her boss, compounding fear, already choking her breath. By evening, eviction notice lay on their door, red ink screaming failure, while rain began falling, washing laughter into muddy silence. Inside the dark room, Amaka finally spoke to her mother with steady eyes, promising everything would change soon, igniting suspense nobody could explain. The next days became heavier as Auntie Bola locked the water tap, denying Amaka access, forcing her to beg neighbors who enjoyed watching humiliation like evening entertainment. Cunnel refused to help, openly claiming neutrality, yet joking loudly that suffering builds character, while Sod mocked Amaka, online captions spreading cruelty beyond the compound walls. At work, Amaka's boss reduced her pay, accusing her of carelessness, worsening pressure as transport fares rose and hunger knocked harder at night. Mama Grace fell ill, coughing through sleepless nights, and Amaka sold her phone quietly to buy medicine, deepening isolation from the world. Each attempt to explain herself met disbelief as neighbors believed poverty erased credibility, making Amaka's words sound empty even to kind ears. Late nights, Amaka walked to a nearby bridge, standing alone, gripping her handbag, whispering prayers, while traffic roared indifferent beneath flickering streetlights. Fear visited, often eviction, hunger, sickness, yet beneath fear a calm, resolve slowly sharpened like a blade hidden under cloth. The compound watched her struggle, unaware every insult was pushing her closer to a line she had prepared for long. Auntie Bola announced publicly that eviction would happen in 3 days, setting the compound buzzing with gossip, anticipation, and cruel excitement. Saad teased Mama Grace, openly asking where they would sleep soon, while neighbors laughed louder, masking discomfort with mockery. Amaka remained strangely composed, walking gently, speaking less, her silence unsettling some who expected tears or collapse. At night, she opened her handbag, repeatedly checking documents and a small flash drive, breathing slowly as rain tapped the roof. Mama Grace sensed change, asking worried questions, but Amaka only smiled softly, promising safety without explanation. The tailoring shop closed suddenly after robbery, leaving Amaka jobless, escalating urgency as eviction day approached fast. Whispers spread that Amaka planned to run away, leaving debts, confirming neighbors' belief in her weakness. Yet on the final evening before eviction, Amaka ironed her dress, carefully, eyes steady, suggesting tomorrow would rewrite every story told about her. Eviction morning arrived with harsh sunlight exposing fear as Auntie Bola stood outside, smiling, surrounded by tenants ready to witness disgrace. Mama Grace, weak and dizzy, leaned against the wall, whispering prayers while Amaka packed quietly, her movements calm against the chaos around her. Kunal shook his head, pretending pity, saying life was unfair, yet making jokes that cut deeper than insults. Saad livestreamed again, capturing Mama Grace's tears, hoping for attention, while comments poured in, laughing at their misfortune. Auntie Bola demanded keys, loudly declaring victory over poverty, her voice sharp like metal striking stone. Amaka's heart pounded, yet her face stayed peaceful, causing murmurs as people wondered why she showed no fear. For a moment, doubt crept in as memories of struggle threatened her resolve, tightening her throat painfully. Then Amaka inhaled deeply, lifting her head, knowing this was the darkest second before truth demanded daylight. Amaka stepped forward, calmly asking everyone to listen, her voice steady, cutting through noise like sudden silence after thunder. She revealed she had been secretly working nights as a software tester for an international company, paid in dollars. From her handbag, she produced documents, bank alerts, and the flash drive, proving months of hidden income and careful planning. Gasps replaced laughter as she explained, saving quietly to protect her sick mother from pressure and envy. Amaka announced she had bought the compound land legally through an agent after Auntie Bola debts forced a discreet sale. Auntie Bola face drained as truth sank in her cruelty, exposed publicly before stunned tenants and watching phones. Amaka handed eviction papers not to herself, but to Auntie Bola, offering dignity instead of revenge. Hope filled the air as silence bowed before Amaka's strength, revealing that patience and wisdom can overturn loud injustice. Auntie Bola shouted denial, grabbing the papers, accusing Amaka of lies, while tenants watched, torn between shame, fear, and disbelief. Amaka remained calm, explaining every signature, payment, and witness as security men arrived, confirming the transfer beyond argument. Kunal stepped back slowly, realizing his jokes now echoed against truth, while Saad lowered her phone, trembling as viewers flooded comments. Mama Grace wept softly, holding Amaka's hand, overwhelmed by relief, pride, and disbelief after years of silent endurance. Auntie Bola begged, suddenly blaming hardship, age, and ignorance, but her voice lacked power it once enjoyed. Amaka spoke firmly, stating cruelty was a choice, and today consequences finally arrived, without anger, only clarity. Security asked Auntie Bola to leave peacefully as murmurs spread through the compound, heavy with regret. The gate closed behind the fallen landlady, sealing a moment nobody would forget again. Days later, the compound felt different, quieter, humbled as Amaka repaired broken taps, cleaned spaces, and restored dignity without boasting. She allowed tenants to stay under fair rent rules, emphasizing respect, kindness, and community over fear. Kunal apologized, openly cutting Amaka's hair for free weekly, while Saad deleted videos, ashamed of her hunger for attention. Mama Grace's health improved, laughing more often, selling corn proudly with new confidence. Neighbors now greeted Amaka with lowered voices, realizing laughter once hid cruelty and ignorance. Amaka hired local youths teaching skills, quietly empowering others without announcing generosity. The story spread online, shifting from mockery to inspiration, humbling those who shared pain casually. Justice settled gently, proving power guided by patience heals deeper than revenge ever could. Months passed, and the compound transformed into a place of calm laughter, shared work, and mutual respect, replacing the old fear that once lived in corners and whispers. Amaka walked freely, now greeting neighbors warmly, still humble, still quiet, but carrying confidence earned through patience, discipline, and unseen sacrifice. Mama Grace often reminded children nearby that silence is not emptiness and endurance can hide preparation greater than noise. People who once mocked now listened carefully whenever Amaka spoke, understanding that wisdom rarely announces itself loudly. At night, Amaka still looked at the sky, but no longer waiting, instead reflecting, thankful for lessons carved by hardship. She never told her full story again, believing truth does not need constant defense once revealed properly. The compound learned that judging too quickly can blind hearts to greatness growing quietly beside them. And so the laughter that once wounded became respect, teaching that humility, patience, and character always speak last.